Hello, Zack In Timers. It's so great to see you. You're about to get a live Q&A with the creator of Zack In Time, Christian Haynes. I'm Holly Payne, the PR manager for the show. Hi, Christian. Christian will be joining us in just a moment. And we're really excited to talk about the series and what we have coming up planned for all of you. It's been so fun sharing art and behind the scenes looks at the series so far. And let's get Christian on. Hi, Christian.
Hey,
How are you?
doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and the project?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've had the idea for Zack in Time since my junior year of college back in 2014. It really just came out of at the time I wasn't really doing anything creative, and like I just really felt like my creativity was drying up. And my friend Jared just said like, hey, just work on like a personal project or like something that you're passionate about. And I was like, yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea. So I just got whipped out my notebook and I just started writing down random ideas that I had like over the past couple of years, like what would I want to do like a TV show or a movie about? And I was like, oh, maybe about like time travel. And I was like, okay, well, what else can I do? Maybe about like a middle schooler, or maybe something about secret agents. And I had these kind of three separate ideas, and I couldn't really find like a good story for just one of them. So I was like, okay, why don't I just mash them together, like make it like the middle schooler is like has something to do with time travel, and he becomes a secret agent as a result of it. So I just started to come up with like random ideas, like, okay, how does he time travel? Like, what's the device? And I'm like, oh, a watch, of course. And then it's like, okay, who made the watch? Okay, the secret government agency. And then and like, who else wants the watch? Are there like villains who want it? Are there like good guys who want it? And then the ideas just started kind of rolling from there. And yeah, I eventually I had like a originally I wanted it to be like a 22-minute pilot for a series, but obviously you can't really do that as a senior at film school. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just do a pitch trailer. So it ended up being about 2.5 minutes, and I have that pitch trailer on my YouTube channel of like my older college stuff. And yeah, it definitely looks really different. The animation style looks very different, very Butch Hartman inspired. so so I kind of just did it, and then just had it at, just as a grade for my senior thesis, and I didn't really touch it since then. But over the years, like 2016, 2017, like the idea's always been in the back of my head, but I've always been kind of doing other ideas here and there. um, but I was like, they never really pulled through, and I always kept thinking about like Zack in Time, and that was really like the only kind of idea that I felt like had a very like solid, it just felt like a more like a fully formed idea, where like there seemed to be like a clear beginning, middle, and end. It ends with like kind of like a cliffhanger where you can tell like a million different stories after that. So I just, by the time I think it was about summer 2018, I was like, maybe I should pick up this idea again and really start developing it. And then so I just started kind of developing it. Okay, what do I want it to be? Do I want it to be like a 7-minute short film, an 11-minute short film, a 22-minute short film? And then the idea just kept getting bigger and bigger and longer and longer. And then eventually I was like, this could be like a feature. So I kind of wrote it as a feature, kind of pitched it to my friend Paige, who's the producer on the project. And she was like, okay, I know this is a good idea, but it's way too long. Why don't you just break it up into a couple episodes? So I was like, okay, I'll break it up into like a web series. So that's where it all kind of came from. So right now we're just kind of working on the pilot episode. Got Paige involved. We got another producer named Katie, her involved. We have Luke doing designs, and we have you, Holly, doing social media. And it really just started to build and build from there. Like it just came from like an idea of like, okay, this will be a really cool idea, to being this kind of full-on production. So yeah, it's kind of the genesis of Zack in Time. But no, very long answer, but it's a very long story for sure. So, but yeah, that's the gist of it.
That's awesome how the idea evolved and how you were able to assemble a team on your own and
Mm.
get all this going. It's been looking fantastic. I'm enjoying working on it.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
been a blast.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
you mentioned Butch Hartman as one of your
Mm.
influences. Can you elaborate more on that or other influences you may have?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've been watching like Nickelodeon since like kindergarten, first grade. I've watched Fairly Odd Parents since it first came out back in 2001. I was like, I think I was in first grade at that time, and I was obsessed. And then when Danny Phantom came out, that was like changed the game for me for animation. I know like you're a very big Danny Phantom fan. You know, hashtag Go Ghost again,
Oh yeah.
for sure. So yeah, Danny Phantom was like a staple in my childhood. It was just like one of those shows that really just like opened up the imagination because there wasn't really a lot of like action shows on TV. It was always like comedies, and this was like the really first like superhero show that there was, and it was like a 22-minute show rather than just like an 11-minute show. There was like a serialization of the
Right.
characters. Like there was a continuation from like one episode to the next episode, which is great. I love serialized storytelling. So like Danny Phantom and Fairly Odd Parents were definitely the two standards. And then as I got older, and then realized, hey, there's actually a person who actually makes these shows. It's not just like they're just up on the air. There's actually a person behind the scenes, like writing it, directing it, producing it. And like I would just watch like interviews with him, read his books. I got his Mad Hustle book right here, so
Yep.
been reading like all of his books. What else? His YouTube channel, just getting like behind the scenes, everything. And he's like one of the most like successful showrunners on Nickelodeon. Like I don't know anybody else who hasn't had like 4 different shows on the network and worked for like 20 years or so. So he's always been a huge inspiration for me for like storytelling, designs, music, just everything overall. Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Mm.
Yeah, he's definitely a very prolific creator, and just the bold production of ideas, I think,
Mm.
is really great. And I can definitely relate to what you said about the character of Danny Phantom in the story.
Yeah.
Um, what would you say are some of the values that have influenced you in animation?
Yeah. Yeah, I really like shows that, kind of push the boundaries story-wise, and not are not afraid to answer like hard questions. I think one of the shows that really influenced me was like Static Shock, just because it was like a black superhero, and he would tell like these different stories about like race and class and um, different like stereotypes, but like flip them on their head in a way to so you can see like other person's perspective. I really like shows like that really like have those values and those lessons at the very end, or like Proud Family, or yeah, just different shows that have like a big beginning, middle, and end. They have like a conflict that a character is going through, but they overcome it. It's not like, okay, they do like this prank and they get away with it. It's like, no, there's like consequences that come with it. There's people learn lessons afterwards. People are able to like grow from their experiences. Yeah, and Danny Phantom does that as well. Like there's some episodes where like you think, oh, Danny's gonna get away with this prank or against like Dash or something, but really he comes to terms like, okay, no, I need to apologize to this guy. I need to learn from my mistakes, and different things like that. So yeah, I really love shows that have those sort of values to them. And I grew up pretty much was babysat by cartoons, and just seeing like the values that they bring. And I think that's kind of shaped me into the person I am. Just seeing characters go through arcs in a way, and who don't start off the same way. Like they start off one way, but then become a certain way afterwards. So yeah, the cartoons and animation are like very important to me, and they definitely instill a lot of values in my life.
That's great. That cartoons
Mm.
can definitely have a huge
Mm.
impact on kids because sometimes that's all they have,
Yeah.
and or a huge influence on them. And you can have great action and great comedy in a series, but if you don't have a great character who
Mm.
feels human and changes in the series and understands the consequences of their actions and
Mm.
continues to grow, then that series is not going to have as much of an impact on who the viewer is as a person.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
think that's one of the best things that an animated show can do, or any show.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So that's awesome that you're trying to do that with Zack In Time.
Yeah, for sure.
What would you say that Zack In Time does differently from the shows that have influenced you or that may already exist on television?
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the main things is just the character of Zach himself. He's biracial. He's half black, half white, And that's just something I don't really see in cartoons. It's either just the white male protagonist, or like sometimes it'll be like black male protagonist. But I really wanted to have a character who's doesn't really know like where he belongs. Like he's like, do I hang out with this group of kids? Do I hang out with that group of kids? Like who am I? What is my identity? And I feel like that's something, I kind of struggled with in the past. Like, who am I? Where do I belong? Um, and I just really wanted to have that in a character. Like, not only is he like new to his middle school, but he's also doesn't know which racial group to hang out with. And that's just like, I guess, an added element to like, not only middle school is already awkward anyway, but then you throw in like not really knowing where you belong. That's even just more awkward. And like, that's just something important that I really want to put into this show that I don't really see a lot in animation or live action. So that was like a really important thing to me that I wanted to put in there. And I think another aspect was just like people who live kind of in the gray area. I know a lot of shows are like, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. But with this show, I kind of wanted to have the characters be in the gray. Like, their motivations might not seem like fully good or fully evil. Like, they feel really conflicted, and like some people might see like this is like the right thing to do, but then other people see like, no, this is the wrong thing to do, but you're going about it. You might be going about it in the right way, but you're doing the wrong thing, or vice versa. You might be going about it the wrong way, but doing it the right way. But yeah, that's another value that I wanted to see in a cartoon show. And I guess another thing would just be like time travel, like having a show completely centered around time travel. You don't really see a lot of shows with that because they don't really want to tackle with the logistics of it. It's usually just in one episode they like mess with time travel, like, okay, we're not doing that again. But this one I was just like, I kind of wanted the time travel to be like a springboard for the adventures, rather than like kind of get into like logistics of the back and forth between different time zones and different time periods and whatnot. I just wanted to kind of be a springboard for more adventures and more missions. So I guess those would be like the main things that I don't really see in a ton of shows that I wanted to bring into this show.
That's awesome.
Mm.
I love what you said about the gray areas of villains, because you can have a villain who looks evil, sounds evil, and I want to take over the world. But villains in real life aren't like that, because they come from their upbringing and experiences that make them feel like what they're doing is right.
Mm.
And I really like that the villains in Zack in Time are like that. They have reasons why they do what they do. And it's, in a way, it's not super clear to the viewer. It's up to the viewer to decide who's right, or at least relate to them if they know who's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also love that you're trying to tell stories that really aren't seen as much on television, because everyone knows that middle school is scary, high school is scary, and transitions are scary. But then when you have additional struggles that people might not think about as much as they should because they don't see it, or they haven't experienced it themselves, that's something that we have to add to television. And I'm really glad that you're doing that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that goes into my other question of how you want to inspire people through this show. Like, what do you want them to take away from Zack's character or his struggles and triumphs?
Yeah, definitely. I think the main theme of Zack in Time is belonging. That word gets repeated a lot in the first season, where like Zack just really doesn't know where he belongs. Like racially, he doesn't really know where he belongs with the agency. He doesn't know where he belongs in the middle school, and really even in his own family as well. And really, like, this first season is really his kind of coming into himself and really realizing where he belongs. He's gathering people around them who support him, people who understand him and accept him. And yeah, it's really just a character going from insecurity, like he's very nervous, very scared, and then kind of growing into confidence, growing into security, growing up into reassurance of himself. And I think it's pretty much what every, kid goes through, when they're navigating through like middle school, high school, college. They're just really trying to figure out who they are and where they belong. And then, once they kind of get out the other side of that, once they're in their, 20s and 30s, that's when they kind of start picking up the pieces and realizing, okay, this is where I belong. This is who I am. And I can finally accept myself. So that's really like what I want people to see with the character of Zack, is that, there are places where people belong, and there is a way that people can feel accepted and loved by others and by people around them. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to see with Zack's character.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
I think it's so important because that all starts with yourself.
Mm.
And it starts with knowing the people around you, knowing how they affect you and
Mm.
how, what sort of places they might be coming from and what their intentions might be, and just constantly evaluating your place in the world and
Mm.
knowing that that can change. I think that's great.
Yeah, definitely.
So what else can you tell us about the series and what you have planned going forward?
Yeah, for sure. Right now, we're working on the pilot episode, the very first episode. Um, I wrote a feature length script. It's about 110 pages, and I kind of divided it up into 8 episodes. And right now, we're just working on the first episode. And yeah, we're kind of in the middle of everything. We're in the middle of like the designs. We're in the middle of like the storyboards. We just finished up the casting, so we're going to be announcing the cast pretty soon. And then we'll start recording the actors and putting that into the animatic. And then once the animatic's done, we can start the full-on animation and sound effects, music, and all that sort of stuff, the graphics and whatnot. But yeah, that's where we're aiming at right now. And yeah, if this becomes successful, then we're hoping to produce the other 7 episodes and get the entire first season produced. I have a kind of a 3-season arc in mind, kind of inspired by like kind of the Avatar: Last Airbender series, where there's like 3 books. I have like 3 kind of seasons in mind where I kind of want to see like Zack's journey. It takes place over like 1 year of his life, kind of divided into 3 parts. And yeah, the dream would have all 3 seasons produced. But right now we're in the middle of making the first episode, and we're hoping that it'll be successful, so I can continue on the story. But yeah, that's sort of where we're at right now. And yeah, I'm just glad that we have like you putting up like the different posts for like the different characters and the different phrases that they have, and just getting up that hype for the show. But yeah, everything's kind of in full swing, and we're in the middle of production, and we're excited to see what happens next.
That's fantastic. That's a really exciting plan that you have, and it sounds like you have a really cool story waiting for people. So I'm really excited. And what can fans do? What can the Zack and Timers do to help make this happen?
Yeah, for sure. If you guys want to support us, we have a Patreon page. There's a link in the bio of this Instagram page. If you want to donate to that, you can donate as little as $1 or as much as $5, and it'll just be like a monthly payment. And yeah, you can also support us on different social media platforms here on Instagram. We also have a Facebook, a Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn. We have every sort of social media account known to man, for you guys to check out more of Zack In Time stuff. So yeah, just keep supporting. We're probably going to have a launch, either a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo in the next couple months or so. So if you keep following this page, we'll definitely put a link in the description or in the bio, and then you guys can support us from that. But yeah, just keep liking and commenting on the pictures and just showing your support, and share with your friends, your family, other animation fans, or just other fans of just storytelling in general, because yeah, we could really use the support. But yeah, just keep supporting, keep watching, keep liking, and yeah, look out for more updates, because we're really excited about it. It's going to be good.
Awesome. Well, it was great. It was great talking with you, Christian, and I'm sure we're all even more excited now to see how this show unfolds.
Yeah, I'm excited too. We got a lot of good stuff planned, so yeah, any support that we can get, we're excited for it.
Yeah, I am too, for sure. All right. Well, I hope all of you have a fantastic rest of your day, and stay tuned.
Stay tuned, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.